Hey, I'm your host, Wes.
And I'm your host, Scott.
Come on in and grab a seat.
Because you're hanging with us at the barbershop.
We've had a toilet bowl with one of those soft close sort of things for a while now.
The soft close.
The soft close, like the piston.
Yeah.
So it's never going to slam down on your penis again.
Yeah, well, that wasn't really a concern before. But I went and did some work in a school there a while back.
Close to here.
Yeah, the Fenland
Township.
Fenland Township, Cameron.
Yeah, the old, yeah.
And they don't have those, and they've got the heaviest.
And you dropped one
in the world. And yes, the kids had all left for the day. It was just me and Eric, and I went into the bathroom and give her a tap with my finger. What bang! Scared the bejeebus out of me.
As I was just saying to Dan that I was probably going to invest in a set of not custom but like in-ear monitors, because sometimes wearing the cans, like not everybody has that, hey, you're in radio kind of vibe going, right? And it's maybe just a little less intrusive to look at, and that's how we got to the Joe Rogan thing.
Well, this was the thing, and then what got me was the Peacekeeper comment.
Oh, that's what it does.
And then somebody, have you seen that they've changed Jane Foster, God of Thunder, and somebody's given her the Peacekeeper crest?
The Peacemaker? Oh!
And they're like, hey, that's my movie. I think it's John Cena. They've done a meme already.
That's funny.
And it's like, hey, that's my movie. But
that is funny.
So there, some pre-show banter. I love pre-show banter, especially when it's about toilet bowls.
I'm gonna throw these on because I want to know.
You want to listen. You want to hear.
Well, this is it. As I said before, as a creator,
right,
and because we started in audio and not video,
correct,
I'm heavily invested in wanting to know what's going into
your silky voice. Yeah. I will defer that you can hear my silky voice.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, see,
say something, Dan.
Sure. Okay.
You should talk more into your microphone.
I figured that was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But sitting so comfortably and just forget that the mic's even there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except in this case where you got to actually put your nose on the mic.
I know, but sometimes you kind of do forget.
You do. Oh, and
sometimes I forget so much. I'm like, and then I bump it and I'm like, oh,
okay.
Sometimes I'm bored and I just scratch my nose.
Right. But episode of hanging at the barbershop.
Another one.
Yeah, we're doing really well.
This is what 2 in a week.
Sure.
Yeah. By the time it goes up, who knows?
Yeah. It's all about putting them in the can, bud.
All right.
So I'm Scott.
I'm Wes, and
hey, we got a guest today.
Hi.
Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Not too bad with you.
Good. So we have not had nearly enough sit down chat time. So Dan was kind enough to come this morning and talk about his magnitude of skills and abilities in the maker space.
Oh, nice.
And we talked 3D printing. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll take you out to lunch and then we'll like have a hanging at the barbershop conversation, and we'll drag Wes back with us.
It worked out in a completely self-serving fashion for me, because
free lunch.
Well, I wasn't actually counting on the free lunch. I was more like, hey, Dan's coming. I got some 3D print questions for him.
There you go.
Oh, God.
And you not only did you answer my 3D printing questions, you actually brought me a physical object. So
there you go.
And that was completely self-serving of me. And
it's going to come right across on the sound.
What is
you playing with the fucking footstool?
You don't think the off-axis rejection of these microphones would take that out? I bet you they will.
Let's find out.
I bet you they will.
Right.
If I drop that like your toilet seat story,
yeah.
But
man. I was telling Dan this morning, I mean, like, oh, Wes is such a machine. He's so precise and cares about what he's doing. And then there he is playing footsie with my coffee table.
But you're always like, just relax.
Just be you.
Okay, so don't be too much of me.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't want you to listen to this episode and be upset with you. Yeah, be upset with you.
Okay.
Be like, that's all my fault.
Oh,
and then
yes,
right?
And I do take
and
that shit to heart.
Then the spiral begins, and I'm like, oh no, no way.
I do. I can't help it. I take that shit to heart. Oh my God, yeah.
But
I have a secret project I'm working on.
Oh, secrets? I'm bad with secrets.
I have a secret project that I'm working on.
Am I getting world premiere sneak peek?
You probably will.
No, I mean here on the barber. Are you going to say it out loud?
I'm not. I'm not at a point where I can disclose. But
I was going to say I'd advertise that as sneak peek world premiere of Wes's Secrets.
So let me tell you. Okay, I have a secret project that I'm working on that I will not disclose exactly what it is, but I will tell you this. I'm working with another creator on an audio drama, and so I will be looking for voice acting. So yeah, exactly. So if you think that you have would like to participate in my little super secret audio project,
sure,
I may come to call on you in the somewhat near future.
Sure, I'm that annoying guy that does all the noises and
it was funny
voices and stuff. What?
I was talking to myself in the car the other day. I'm like, I wonder if Wes could use this voice. And then I was like, oh, I am super angry man.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, oh, I could do that. And then I'd be like,
all day.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, not have a voice. And then I'm like, and heaven forbid if it was a 2-day record time, because then I feel like I would need to listen to myself on day 1 to get myself back in character.
That's the thing though. Like, I mean, I look at this thing and of course, as I'm working off a pre-existing script, by the way, that was not written for audio. It was written for film, but it's an original script. So there's no issues with adapting it, but oh my God. And writing a film, I should say that writing a film script is a bucket list item for me. I haven't done it yet, but now that I'm like elbows deep into reading this one and adapting it for audio, brutally aware that like the writing style for film does not necessarily lend itself for audio drama or a radio play,
because there's so much that just gets left.
Film is just a visual medium,
and you're like,
right?
You fill in the blanks.
So all of those things like the set intros for each scene, a lot of that is like I still included in my adaptation, but now I have to be responsible for all of the audio. So anything that would come across visually, if it's not spoken dialect, I've got to come up with a way to convey that stuff. So now that adds a whole other element of whether can I do this through a combination of sound effects or do I need to have an overt narration?
Right.
24 hours later, our heroes, blah, blah, blah. And it's a really weird.
Meanwhile, back at the hideout.
Well, exactly. And you know how many times in my head I get that old timey radio serial or the Flash Gordon serial voice goes through my head. And I'm like, does that really work? I don't know.
There's a reason why they did it that way.
There absolutely is.
If you could do the transatlantic accent, I think you could never go wrong with that.
I don't know if I'm familiar. Transatlantic.
The accent. It was something that apparently in the 20s and 30s,
Yeah.
the reason that everybody talks like, I'm going to get you,
okay,
filthy
okay.
bastard.
Yeah.
That was an attempt at a unified or sort of a highbrow accent for North America.
Stop snoring, Scott.
What? What? Am I breathing heavy?
There's literally a snore just came through.
No.
I'm sorry.
The mic. No, I'm listening.
Boring you, sir?
No.
All right. So enough about that. I am working on a thing. It will still trying to hammer out the details of how it will be presented to the world, but in the getting there, I will be looking for help with that. So if you think you can lend a voice for a day or so, we may call on you.
That's fantastic. Another sausage to your sausage party. You got any female talent other than your wife?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like there is two. Well, one. There is one major
female character,
female role. And I don't even know.
There, if that's all it is, then it will be a sausage party.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be okay.
Me knowing more, it makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a passion project. I'm not doing it for any other reason other than I think it will be cool. And I think some other people are going to think it's cool when it comes out.
It will be cool.
Yeah.
That's super neat. So we had lunch.
We did. Had a great lunch.
Yeah. And
Scotty paid. Woohoo!
Yeah, it was good times. Got talking about daughters and dating.
Oh yeah, good time.
Now, not that I don't want to go as deep as we did at lunch, but you weren't happy with your daughter's selection.
I was fine
Fine
with my daughter's selection.
Until you found out.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
we're going right here, are we? So I
Well-
guess this isn't being played in my house ever.
Wait.
We don't have to. However you want to pitch it.
Why don't we just like gently? Your daughter has had her first dating experience. Why don't we
Yes.
just start with that?
Okay.
And it's not who you would have picked.
He seems to be a fine young man. That being said, there were some issues and choices made that would not have been mine and would not have been something that I selected for my daughter to have to experience.
No.
at
Right.
this
What-
point.
Out of curiosity, and we didn't talk about this at lunch, so this is kind of new. What does your wife think about this situation?
She is not a fan of it either.
In the same vein that you are not, or does she have a different take on it?
She is, well, you
God, I
know,
almost wish she
could
was here.
keep it and hide it from us.
Ah, yeah.
So
I guess
it's
so.
better that, you know, she is at least coming to us.
Right. So
for
somebody is the. Oh, how do you say this? We've known each other long enough that
Yeah.
in the parent-child relationship in your house, you're the heavy.
Oh yeah,
You're the heavy for sure. You are.
yeah, but that, you know, life imitates art, right?
So mom is the ally, and dad is the heavy guns.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems right though. For a girl,
Mhm.
isn't that the way it's supposed to be? I don't know. Well, maybe
Yeah,
not.
I mean,
That's weird. Wait, that doesn't work because in your parent-child
Right.
relationship, your daughter thinks you're the shiz.
I don't. Right. I think I'm up there. I think right. I definitely follow more things that she follows, and right.
Gotcha.
I'll dive into Harry Styles, and I'll dive into TikTok, and so I mean, where Michelle's still trying to figure out TikTok and Snapchat, right? So it's like, but yeah, I don't mind doing any of it. So it's like,
just for the sake of the audio audience that
Yeah.
can't see this, Dan, do you have TikTok on your phone?
no, I have the app. It's not hooked into.
Do you have a
account.
TikTok account?
No.
Okay. I do not have TikTok on my phone, nor do I have an account. And I'm a creator, so it's kind of weird that I don't. But Scott,
I have a TikTok. It's a whole bunch of numbers. I didn't create a user, but I did use a login, because you can't like or comment without an account.
having an account. Oh, okay.
And on my phone, I just have the app, so I can just watch videos. But on my iPad, I do have an account set up.
Okay.
So I can, and then you can follow people. I think if you don't have an account, you can't follow people. So I have to follow Georgia and see what she's up to.
And what is it? Sexy Scott 76.
No, it's like, I couldn't even tell you. It's like 193-275-625
Oh,
user.
oh,
Come
okay.
on, it's just
No,
us.
it's honestly,
Sturgeon Scotty.
no, yeah, it is just numbers and maybe a couple letters user.
It's not Scotty too hot. You want to dance?
If I really get into it, I'll create a new account and name it.
Scotty too hot.
You will be the first two I give it to.
I'm officially throwing this one in for contention. Scotty too hotty want to dance?
Want to dance? We talked about me dancing today. Dan apparently has a good copy of that still on his
Really?
phone.
Because somewhere in the stuff that I have done, it has been lost to obscurity, which is really unfortunate, because there might be a record on Facebook.
I don't think you ever
somewhere.
posted it though.
Oh, maybe
That
I
was the
did.
problem.
I honestly think that Sydney may have it on one of her
Does she?
Devices.
old phones.
But this
or-
is also, we
okay.
were discussing that I'm excited
Yeah.
for this year,
For this year's.
because it's going to be like year one again, where right everyone was excited and we
Yeah.
drank too much and there was no inhibitions, and Kelly drank too much, and and we
Kelly
went
drank
down
too
and I
much.
danced in the middle of the street like no one was watching.
You danced on the wrong side of the bridge where the street party was just you and the two girls that work there.
Right. And the little old lady I dragged off the sidewalk.
Well, if that wasn't where the block party or the street party was supposed to be, why was that where the speakers and the music
Oh
were?
my God. And strangely enough, I think universally, we all had a better time there than we did in the downtown.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. And as I was saying, you know, the second year it was like, well, are you going to dance? And I'm like, no, because you're expecting it. It needs to be like super impromptu. The right song needs to be coming on to the radio.
I'm more interested to know how far are you going to hoof a shoe this year? Because they came off in like glorious like field goal.
Yeah, it came off really well. Really well.
Okay, so wait. We totally segued, and we do this every time.
Oh man, I love the
dating.
Right.
Yes.
Dating. Now both of you have teenage daughters who are both dating.
Correct.
You like yours.
I like Curtis.
Okay.
Now here's the question, and I think because he checks boxes.
Yep.
That he's an athlete. I like athletes.
Okay.
So just as like sort of like employees, you know, they're committed. They've got some sort of ethic, and I would tell you, and they'll probably give me trouble. I don't want to say that he's an elite level, but he's good at everything he does.
Okay.
So he's a good little skater. You know, their team just went to the OMHA tournament in Barrie. So that's top tier hockey.
So that makes him
better than Georgia.
That is a plus in your book.
For sure. You know, he enjoys baseball, enjoys running. Like, I pity him that he enjoys it, but he enjoys So there's a lot of things. He's athletic.
Okay.
So I mean, to me, that means he's got
there's some discipline.
You're going to practice. You're putting in an effort. You understand the team dynamic. You know, just those things. I don't know. Me growing up, and I mean, I guess I was involved in a lot of athletics, and those are just the kids I like to hang out with.
That's why we didn't become friends soon.
That's right. I was a dumb.
That's exactly why
I was with dumb jocks, and you were.
I was with the kids in the art room.
Yeah. So, but that to me, and that is in laying my preference on who my daughter dates.
Sure.
Or who I approve of. Not that it matters. I would never say that I need to approve of it, because you know what? If she likes them, I trust Georgia implicitly.
Yep.
Implicitly. Yeah.
That the way we have raised her, she wouldn't date a dirtbag.
You hope
unless she was gonna fucking piss her mother and I off. Like, she would make that choice.
A revenge plot.
Yeah. She's not. Yeah, and she's not an arts kid, so she wouldn't be hanging out in the art room.
No.
Meeting alternative individuals.
Wow, you really struggled with that one.
I did. I wanted to say that he smelled like patchouli.
The artsy fartsy kids. Yeah. No,
why does that kid smell like patchouli?
So the short version is you like yours.
Yeah.
And Dan, you do not necessarily like yours.
I don't have a problem with him as a human being. I have a problem with some of the choices he has made and the things he has done to my daughter. I'm sure.
I think any parent would have. Yeah.
I don't fault him for being 14.
No.
Obviously, Georgia's boyfriend is
a
number of years older.
And I was lucky too. She wasn't interested in dating anyone until she was 16 or 17, which is where you were hoping to aim at.
Yes.
Like, we talked about that. And he's like, man, I would wish she would have started dating when she was 16 or older.
Yes.
Man, I wasn't in a serious relationship until I was 17. I was a late bloomer.
15 for me.
I feel like Michelle had to hit me over the head with a sock full of pennies to knock the cent. You're like, I like you, and I think you like me. We should date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
That's the weird thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's this. I've had this conversation before, certainly when I was younger, but the whole concept of dating. Does anybody really date anymore? Hello, I would like to take you on a date. I'll pick you up. We'll go to the thing. I'll take you home. And then the date is over. We are not in a relationship. We just went on a date. Because as soon as, at least as far back as when we were in high school,
yes,
dating meant you were exclusive.
Yes.
Does anybody really date anymore?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the things that was on George's list is that until they both had their license and could drive by themselves,
Yeah, sure.
you wouldn't be dating, because if your parents had to go and take you or come and pick somebody up, that it doesn't
work.
It was not a date.
Interesting.
But when you could go and drive and pick them up, vice versa, one or the other, and go somewhere and come back in your own accord, that's a date.
Now we all live in small communities. You and I obviously live here in Bobcaygeon. Dan, you are in Havelock, which is Bobcaygeon-ish,
home of the jamboree.
It is a little smaller, but I mean it's
1,300 people.
Okay, so you're like a third the size of us. So boyfriend is a city kid.
He's in Peterborough.
So this is the thing,
because Sydney goes to school at a Catholic school. Is that correct?
Yes.
So this is the kicker with small
Catholic
towns.
Kid.
Your kid goes to a feeder school.
Oh yeah.
And then they're meeting kids from other communities,
feeders,
not your community. And that's where shit happens. And you're like, why did you have to find a kid? Right? Because Curtis is in Woodville.
Well, I was more going to touch on the and you had said this at lunch, Dan. There's that how many hours of school in the day? What, 6.5 hours or whatever?
Like that.
That's 6.5 hours where they're out of sight, out of mind, and you don't know what they're doing. And as you say, like for those hours, you have no say over what happens.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And I just think my view, and it may be old fashioned, but it is what it is. That's the way that I think, is that, dating at 14, there is a whole lot of stuff on your plate. Even in our generation.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of stuff on a 14-year-old.
I was just going to say the amount of pressure on kids to be something, whether, no matter what the something is, there's always pressure to, whether it's at home or whether it's their peer group, or, even the education system itself puts all these expectations on them. Never mind that they just don't know what they want to do or what they want to be.
Right.
Do you think that's playing a role in?
I think some of it, yeah. I mean, another part of it is that this is her first year being out of the school that she started at.
Right.
Like, she went to a small Catholic school, and the kids that she saw day one of kindergarten
were there on the last day of grade 8.
In grade 8, and they'd been in her class every day all those years?
Look at us, Scott. We went to the Fenland Falls, the public school, the old public school, same thing.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, right, nothing ever changed with us. And when we got to high school, then they started introducing
coming in from everywhere.
But I mean,
else,
it was still our town. We were townies.
That's true.
And then all these the bus kids, even the kids that got bused into school in Fenland were still more Fenland.
Oh, the ones the township kids.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, right, you could live out of town and still come to Fenland Falls.
The son of Harris lived at the top of the hill,
and they got busted.
Yeah.
But now, so Sid's in grade 9. See,
this is me in grade 9.
Yeah, I just pegged her in grade 10. Do you think too is her social group, or a lot of the other girls dating as well?
I don't honestly know.
No,
because that was part of the thing that I was about to say, was that, not only does she have the classic things that are happening in a 14-year-old, she's now working with a school that she's never been to and 1,000 other kids she's never seen in the middle of a pandemic. She's been isolated for the better part of 2 years. She's having social anxiety about being in large groups. And I'm sorry, Sydney, but if anyone's spoken to you, they know you.
She's my favorite Buckley.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
There's just way too many things going on, and I would rather that she not be exposed to something that was, at 14, the chances are this isn't the person you're going to marry.
Yeah.
You're going to be bringing more strife and more anxiety and more,
more heartache into your
life. So why do it now?
Right.
You're going to be accepted by a whole new group of students.
Well, let's touch on that for a second, because as we were townies, Scott, in our class makeup, we were one of 26,
Yep.
maybe 30. We got to high school. Now we're one of like 300,
Yep.
400. Like that whole, like, scratching out your new position in your new social structure,
There was
just because you were no
more
longer,
girls that didn't like me.
you knew where you were. And I don't, it's maybe this isn't the right analogy, but you knew where you stood in the food chain in elementary school, right? You kind of knew where in the pecking order you were, right?
Now
you've
I'm
got
the third fastest kid at
sure.
this school, and I'm the second tallest.
Yeah.
I'm not academic, and blah 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 blah. Right? You had your
now,
action figure stats.
Yeah. And now you're in the new school, as you say, as a feeder. Now she's coming in as a feeder. She's just one of like, she's totally gray now and has to sort of eke out that, where do I fit in now?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did she have, coming from the Catholic system, did she have friends that she'd gone to school with all through that opted to stop and not finish in Catholic high school?
I think there may have been one,
like
or
a handful,
but
switched to
most
public or
of the
something.
students that
would go, had gone continue that education.
All moved over with her, and one or two of them have shared classes with her. But again, we've had quadmesters, we've had secondary shutdowns, extended March breaks, all of these things, and it's like, really,
I was
just try and eke your way through 1 year, and then once things return to normal, then you can throw another grenade in the works and see how this works. But just try and just
get back to that your social grouping, right? And then, because sometimes too, right, if they've got a solid group of friends, sometimes that's enough peer pressure to be like, you don't need to date him or her, and as they say, if they're hanging out with kids that you like or that where they're sitting, sometimes that's the you don't have to even parent the situation, because that those kids, their parents, and you're like, they're totally going to be on my side, and I won't have to parent the thing, because the whole peer pressure of friendship will drive her in the right direction. But as you say, with shutdowns and whatnot, all of a sudden it's like you're hanging out, you're kind of making your own decisions. But that was the one thing I was amazed. Ethan was a Catholic school brat, and he went to Downeyville, and how many and then he finished his high school career at the Catholic school in Lindsay. But I was always amazed at all these Catholic parents, and we went there for the education, not for the religion. How many kids, when it came to high school, opted to put their kids out of the Catholic system and back into the public, because there was more sports or more course selection at a public system versus what was available at the Catholic school in Lindsay. Now, the Catholic school in Lindsay is a little bit smaller, where I think both the Catholic schools in Peterborough are pretty big. Lots of curriculum in sports. But in my end of things, it was funny. The Catholic school, high school, was still the quaint, small, family-driven educational that we enjoyed in the public system, or the public school end of things. So it worked out well for him that he got a nice, small, quaint experience through the Catholic system as a whole, which was good for him. But
I've just been a heathen my whole life. I can't even speak to this.
Me too.
I was public school.
But I would tell you, it's I mean, we've done everything in our family, right? We've done public, we've done Catholic, we've done sort of a mixed high academic, and then back with Georgia. She's kind of tittered and tattered with a few things, but all through the public system, and done very well. And she'll graduate this year with a decent thing. And then she just got to figure, as you said, she just got to figure out what she wants to be.
She doesn't have to do it right now.
Right? She's gonna be 17.
Yeah.
Like, man,
remember when that was everything for us, the pressure to, like, you need, by grade 10 you got to know where you're going. No, I don't. I'm 47 years old and I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Me too. I mean, but there's even if you think we had pressure, these kids they're only doing it in 4 years. where even if you graduated OSSD, like when we went,
Oh, sure.
I mean, how many kids do you know that went for 5? Tons.
Lots that wanted that OAC.
Well,
'Cause they
I'm
wanted to
saying kids that didn't even take OAC.
Oh, okay. They just wanted an extra year.
Just take another. All kinds took an extra year.
Well,
that was why I did it. It wasn't the
Was
lack
the,
of credits and
no.
opting for spares.
I'd heard-
failing typing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of people I knew came back because they wanted to. A lot of it was a repeat of their grade 12 year because the math wasn't high enough, the English wasn't high enough, and their aspirations meant, I want to go back and just repeat a bunch of things just to bring it up, or take extra courses to pad my application to where I want to go.
Right. Yeah, I was never on the track to go to college or
Dude, I
university.
graduated high school on the 7-year plan. Okay. And I mean, neither of those were a repeat of the grade 12 year, mind you. To tell you that much.
No, I planned to be an illustrator or cartoonist. And
I think you've mentioned that before too.
And my dad said, well, if you want, I can get you a job tomorrow for almost double basic or minimum wage. And, you can start on Monday and you can just take a year and, sort of learn what it's all about. And
Gotcha.
The age-old adage of you should have a trade to fall back on.
Got you locked into the money, eh?
Oh,
32 years later, I'm still falling back on that trade that I have.
But I've seen your doodle.
Sorry. Yes, Dan is a professional card shark at Pictionary, people. His pictures look like what they're
amazing.
supposed to be. So good.
Hey,
so good.
Have you ever thought about doing any storyboarding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought about it.
I'll talk to you after.
Okay, good.
I'll talk to you after.
And for your radio play, I don't think you need the storyboard.
I still think in terms of visual medium. So here, we'll talk after.
Then it becomes an action comic.
See, you're already catching what I'm pitching, and I haven't even pitched it yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold it big.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought that was just something interesting we could talk, because we have different takes on dating. We don't have to stick on that, but
Yes, please, because I do.
Can we please move on?
Yeah,
I do love my daughter very much, and I don't want
only
any harm
want the
to come to
best.
her. That's
Only want the
all.
best, and sometimes
Well,
what we see is
that's
not
right.
what they
yeah,
see.
of course.
And their
we
opinions
have
and visions are valid and important.
we have the advantage of several years of tripping on it to fall back on.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we say what we say.
Yeah.
But it's not just me being a
No.
protective father.
And that's your job.
Yeah, this is like the one time where or one of those times where when dad when the switch goes off, it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
What do you mean you
Yeah.
Have you had the bring him over, I want to meet him, and then you break out the gun kit and you start cleaning things?
No, my move.
Apparently,
if I had a move,
is
he came down with Sydney. They walked to a place where I was getting physiotherapy on my shoulder.
Sure.
And I decided, you know what? I'll just give you both. I'll obviously drive my daughter home, but I'll drop
him off.
Lad off at his house.
And does he live close to you?
No, he lives in Peterborough.
He lives. Oh, so you've got 20 minutes in the car with this kid.
And
now you know where he lives.
Yeah. Now I know where he lives. And so I said flat out, there are only 3 rules.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
Sure.
Know that I am always on her side, right or wrong.
Yep.
So don't come to me for support because you are not my family.
Right.
And what was the other one? Don't ever raise your hand to my daughter in anger.
That's reasonable. That's more than reasonable.
Dude, those are 3. Those are universal.
Yeah.
I would not have any problem with someone saying them to me about their daughter.
Yeah. So, you would think that's just a basic respect kind of thing. Yeah.
If I ask you a direct question, don't ever lie. Because when I find out, it is so over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, the joys.
Don't lie to me. We just had that conversation too.
Yeah. I mean, for some people who aren't seeing me and have never met me in person, I'm 6'6" and 260. So people tend to listen when I tell them, especially when they're a 5'10", 14-year-old boy.
Fuck, I wish I was 260. I'm Wes. I'm 6'1" and I'm not 260.
Yeah.
but I'm lighter than I was in February. So how's that?
There you
There
go.
you go.
And you're looking good.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Thank you.
So renos.
Oh yeah.
We've all been doing renos.
Oh, yay.
So Dan, you're
Judging by the number of boxes on the other side of the room, there's
outside
something
camera.
waiting for you.
yeah, just outside camera, there is 27 boxes of assorted tiling material. So the ceiling will eventually be done here.
Oh,
the
speaking
next-
of time, so you called me up the other day and said, "Hey, can you come over and help me move some tile?"
Right.
So I did.
Yeah.
And
You were
as
a
I
good
can
helper.
see, one box of track is open.
Yep.
And one box of tile was open, so you could see what they were like.
Yep.
One of them
Well done.
We talked
Well,
about that
on
as
our
well.
way.
How did that go over?
I think she's not noticed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I opened up, pulled out a tile, set it down. It fell on the floor, and I crumpled the corner.
The corner.
And we're like, "Oh shit!"
I think that the track is probably deep enough that if you put that,
It
in the
would
corner-
hide.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there'll be a piece that needs to be trimmed and cut.
And that's the one you're going
It's
to.
the first one that's getting trimmed and cut.
Nice.
So that'll be fine. So yeah. It's all good.
Is that like aspenite?
It is. It
That
is.
dense kind of.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is not your traditional
Drop ceiling.
drop ceiling tile at all, but it's taking less than probably 1.25 inches in space from the joist. So this was the big thing, is that we put in taller ceilings because we wanted taller ceilings, and if you put in a traditional drop, you're losing 6 inches, and then I have some poorly laid air returns, so then it would have even been shorter over there. So this was my idea, and my wife likes it, and we spent a shit ton of money, and she's happy.
There you go.
Man, I saw this stuff. We've talked about this material before, because I was like, "Hey, did you see the thing that came up in my news feed?" And you're like, "I saw the same thing."
Yep,
And then you actually went out and bought it.
I did.
Yeah.
Costco got my percentage back.
Costco's been good to me recently too. Yeah.
But Dan,
Yeah, buddy.
renovations at your place.
Uh-huh.
So now, did this start off because you didn't go to Italy?
No,
This was going to happen no matter what.
Yes.
Okay.
You're just trying to kill me today, aren't you? Thanks so much.
Man, it's just what I remember. I've got right. It's just there's key points that I just remember.
No, our 20th anniversary was May 2020.
But it's not that you didn't go to Italy. It's that Italy was
It's
postponed.
Yeah, we did not go to Italy because
It's postponed. You
Yes.
are going though.
yes.
There you go.
Unfortunately, I have a cousin
Yep.
on my wife's side that he and his partner have been doing the exact vacation that
Oh, really?
Kelly and I were doing,
Yeah.
and the bugger is posting pictures on his Instagram.
Oh, so now it's really,
and
it's
it's
really,
like, oh, it looks gorgeous. Why is he doing that?
It's
Come
hitting home,
on.
is it?
You could unfriend him.
I'm thinking about it.
You don't have to unfriend them, but you could snooze them. You could snooze them for like 30 days.
Snooze, bitch.
I don't know
Um,
if Instagram works like that.
Oh,
Works like that
I
on
thought it was
Facebook.
Facebook. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, it became abundantly apparent as probably right around May 2020
Yeah.
that there is not quite enough room in our house in its current configuration
For the
for
four of you.
my young teen daughter.
Sure.
When we bought the house, we had one child.
Right.
Sydney was a joyous surprise 5 years later and go, oh, so what closet are we going to get?
Oh,
are we
wow.
going to use as her nursery?
Really?
So I lost my office, which
Okay.
was not big. It was fine for an office
Yep.
for a guy who works on computers,
Yep.
but it wasn't anywhere near big enough to be a long-term solution for a bedroom.
No.
Years go by.
Because
the
kids only
housing-
tend to get bigger, right?
Yeah, that's what, and they amass stuff apparently. As she got bigger, the housing market became the housing market of today,
Which
and
is
it's like,
awful.
well, I guess we're not moving anywhere,
Yeah.
and so we're looking around, and Sydney is now. You can open the door probably 2/3 of the way without it hitting the pile of clothing
Something,
on a
yeah,
teenage girl's
okay.
floor.
Yep.
And I literally was in her room earlier today. Sorry, Sydney. But you can't step to the bed.
Oh,
you literally walk up to, because I don't know what's under that.
So did you jump?
No, I just sort of turned around or
Backed out slowly.
leaned way out and did like a slow, lazy push-up.
Yeah.
To just be able to rest my butt on the edge of the bed. Because being a teenager, she seems unable to wake up.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, damn it, I'm setting an alarm.
Fortunately,
and
it's Saturday.
I went and checked, and she's got an alarm, so it's not that. But so as we were looking, it's like, well, what can we do? It's like there's no place else for the house to be. There's no other better configuration, unless you want to put a bedroom in the middle of the main floor. And every time you go from the living room to the kitchen, you got to walk through mom and dad's bedroom. I don't think that's going to work. So we realized that the extension, what is the back of our house,
going on the back?
Has an extension that has it's probably 50 years old. The house is 110.
Oh, wow. Is it that old?
Oh, yeah.
Man, we've been there a few times and I never realized it was that old.
Oh, well, we dress it up nice.
Sure.
But so the extension on the back of the house wasn't built well, but it was built. It was probably built soundly enough
for the time.
Still standing. 1950s. Or, late 40s. But it's been 80 years. The thing is well past its best before date, and it needs to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've realized that, okay, well, if we knock that down and just go full width of the back of the house by a couple of feet, we can put our master bedroom back
out
there. The kids have the upper floor to themselves, with the exception of what will become my workshop printer room.
Yep.
And we can do that way less expensive than trying to move. And so I spoke to a gentleman about, like, what are we looking at approximately to knock down this, excavate a new foundation?
Yep.
He says, well, I can't do it without permits and engineering drawings. So I'm like, okay, I'll go get those. I'll come back to you. So I go get the engineering drawing. I get the blueprints done. I go to the permit office. And while that's in, I said, okay, you need to come and have a look at this. And he gave me a price.
The wheels are in motion now.
The wheels are in motion. Yay.
Okay.
I've got prints. I've got permits on the way.
Yep.
I've got a carpenter and a guy who's going to do the roofing. I'm going to do many of the other interior finishing myself.
When you say the wheels are in motion, like you're ready, like these people are ready to pull the trigger, or like, okay, you're on my schedule.
I was of the impression it was a rubber stamp sort of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Because when someone comes to me and asks, I need something done, as you can attest the other day,
you
mentioned the Phantom Power
thing. Yeah, the logo.
I literally got up from speaking to you, went and worked on it, had it done, and it's been sitting on my counter for a day.
That blows me away, by the way. I went from asking, hey, can this be 3D modeled, to less than 48 hours later, here's a finished thing. Wow. Okay.
So I assume that that's the rapidity that other people work.
Well, not in the contractor world.
No, not clearly. And so
I get to you in the fall.
Yeah. This guy said, yeah, I'll have time for you. Let me know when your permits come through. Of course, the guy at the permit office went on vacation.
Sure.
Then
and nobody took up that job.
Then there was another little delay. Then it's on the bottom of this, or at the top of the stack of other permits that need approval. It gets delayed. I get back to the guy who's going to do my demo and excavation.
Yep.
And he's like, well, rebar's gone up, but it's gone up.
Yeah, nothing's going down.
It's going to be, I can't even look at it for less than twice what I told you before.
What do you mean twice?
Exactly.
Is it gone up that much?
It's gone. It went.
I know that lumber has
$15,000.
This is for your foundation.
To $30,000. I can't even look at it for less than $30,000. And it's like, dude,
then I can't look at
construction. I know this trick.
Yeah.
This trick is I don't want that job.
Yep.
But if you want to pay me,
I'll come and
do the job begrudgingly.
Because
hate that. I've got enough work to keep me busy.
I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
And that's as somebody who works in the trades, you get it. As a consumer, I absolutely hate that practice, that unofficial practice.
Mm-hmm.
Hate it.
But I mean, it's funny too, though, because if you think at 2020, what did plywood peak out at?
Oh, it was.
Oh, in 2020, 70. What did you pay? $75 a sheet.
I went 5/8. That was $100.
Yeah, a sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that's cheaper. That's on the downswing.
As did my garage in quarter inch
Yeah.
for $35 a sheet.
Where that probably used to be like $20 a sheet.
Probably it's
$12
not
a
much,
sheet.
not much sturdier
It's
than
insane.
wood paneling.
And then we're gonna insulate and winterize the garage.
Mhm.
And just talking to him, he's like, "This is the price," and he had mentioned that because of the petroleum, and that's obviously what the spray foam is. They've seen a total of a 35% increase in the last year.
Yeah, but 35% is not more than double.
Well, no, but I mean, if spray foam's gone up 35%,
well, there is that.
There's other things, and yeah, but I mean, it very typical. I agree, because there's lots of people out there that quote jobs, and you're like, yeah, I just don't need it or want it, or something's changed, and yeah, I'll just overprice it and hope I don't get it.
I don't think that he was hoping that he wouldn't get it. I think it was, I've got enough work that I'll be comfortably working until I shut the business for the winter season, because nobody wants to rip the back of their house off
in the winter
in February.
Nope.
So I have enough to keep me busy. But if dude wants to throw me $20K,
I'll make time to come
above,
and do it.
Yeah, I will bump a person back by a couple of days or a week, and I'll flood that job, and I'll summer or I'll winter in
sure
the Caribbean,
somewhere where it's not gonna make me cold or miserable.
Where I don't even have to. The only thing cold is the condensation on the outside of my drink.
Drinks.
But yeah.
So wait now. Sorry, I should just let you finish, because I was going to say, are you stalled now?
No.
Okay.
No. There's more. But
wait, there's more.
Told you this would be good content.
Oh yeah. So I started getting frustrated about that. I spoke to my sister, who recently had work done on her place.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I've got a great guy. He can help you out." And so I said, "Okay, that'll be fine."
Whatever. I love the great guy recommendation.
Yeah.
That's worked out about 3 out of 10 times for me.
Yeah, he works quick. If he says he's going to do something, he shows up. And I'm like,
that's good.
That's what I want.
Yep.
Like, give me a number, stick to it, show up.
Yep.
Don't think I'm asking for too much.
No, but then you got to, this is when I say that the good guy recommendations worked out for me about 3 out of 10 times. It's because the other 7, it's been like no availability. Yep. Oh yeah, I did that job for that person you just mentioned, but I'm busy.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, if they're good, they're busy.
Yeah.
If they're good, they're
yeah.
But yeah, so he said, yeah, no problem. Like, I can come out and have a look. And he came out to the house. He took a look. He's like, yeah, no problem. I'll go back to the house. I'll do some numbers up. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
I, of course, I'm not one to mince words. I'm not one to screw around.
No.
So I said, can you give me a ballpark? And he says, well, it's hard to know. I don't know what concrete costs are this week.
Yep.
Because it's
that much variable fluctuation in it.
And so I said, okay, no rush. Give me a price.
Sure.
He goes home. He comes back to me. I had already told him the first numbers that I got.
The horror story with the rebar.
Yeah. And I said, if your number is going to be 30K, don't even bother.
Yeah. There's just don't come back with a quote.
Right. I can learn to do it.
Yeah.
For less than that.
Okay.
And so he came back. He gave me a fair price. A couple of days later, that's when the gas prices started to spike up to close to $2.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm really sorry to do this to you, but like,
I have to bump it.
I'm driving from, someplace down near Toronto up to you in diesel trucks.
Right.
With graders and backhoes and a dumpster.
That's got to be reflected in the price then.
Right. So I've got to slap another $2,000 on it.
Okay, but two,
that's reasonable.
2 is not double.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can deal with that. And so I said, okay. So we're at this point, there's still snow on the ground. The ground is frozen. I said, so when are you thinking? He says, well, I want to wait until end of April, beginning of May.
Oh, so you're like right around the corner.
Should have.
Yeah.
And so he calls me up or sends me a text about 3 weeks ago saying my business partner and myself have parted ways.
Oh boy.
I'm having an issue finding manpower now because he took my concrete guys with him. So I'm going to have to.
I'm hamstrung. What do I do?
I'm hamstrung. I can't help you right now, but leave it with me. I'm trying to get guys.
Okay.
We'll aim for end of May, but I'll call you mid-April.
Wow. So you're like literally hanging on a wait, like watch and shoot kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And so he keeps. Eventually, he backed out and said, "I'm just not able to find guys." So
you're back to
back to zero, because it is literally the only part of the whole job that I actually need another human being to do.
The demo,
and it is the one thing that I am stuck at.
The foundation. Well, that's the foundation. There's a reason why it's called the foundation.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if you're going to learn to do concrete, you don't want it to be on your foundation.
Right?
I'd rather try and lay a patio slab and see if after 5 years that thing just cracked right in half.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep waiting for, to see mine, if it's going to.
Oh.
I already had my little sand mix escapade having to paint that thing.
But I think that's across the board, Dan. I think there's delays and, shortcomings in stock lines and, long wait times and back orders and discontinued. And talking to the trades guys I've had through here, guys are so desperate for workers. They're headhunting and poaching from others. So, Wes has got a business. All the guys are happy at Wes's business. I've got a business and I've got jobs lined up. So I'll go poach Wes's guys and be like, listen, I'll pay you $5 more than what Wes pays you. Come work for me.
Yeah.
And the almighty dollar seems to be a lot of sway. And a lot of guys have been jumping ship and going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I proactively gave everyone a raise in my
just to retain them,
just to ensure retention, to let them know I realized what the situation was.
But you've got to have the work to support that. So clearly that's
because he can't have them leave, because then he's right. He's like, he's got all these things in line.
But these companies, though, that are like, I didn't quite realize how hand to mouth it is at sort of like, and it goes way, way up the chain. Like it's a much bigger thing than I realized. I know that it's like for the bottom rung worker who could be living hand to mouth. Well, the guy at the top who's signing all the checks
is no different.
It's not that much different.
I think in the work Dan does, where it's big contracts and there's agreements and payment schedules. But I think anyone that's doing from job to job, and I mean, if you're doing new house construction, so you come to do my roof, you're going to shingle my roof.
Yep.
But me, if that's part of my payment schedule, I might not have the money to pay for the roof when the roof is done. So now you give me a bill. I know I owe you $25,000, but I have to wait for the next stage payment. Because and you also bought that material on your dime, not my dime.
Yeah. I've paid for the material up front because that's kind of how it works.
So many, and so many guys are like, well, I don't have the liquidity to come with everything.
You buy the materials, I'll show up and do it.
You buy the materials and I'll supply the labor, or what's the term? Cost of material, labor and material.
Yeah.
Time and material. Yeah. So lots of guys, like my plumber, time and material. So he'll charge me this time, and then I supply the material. And then if he supplies the material,
I got to be honest with you, I actually hate that arrangement, because you give me materials lists and I'm like, it's Greek to me.
Ideally, you should be able to take it somewhere and give them the list. And they should be able. But me too.
I don't want to be the middle guy that I went and ordered. I don't know what this chicken scratch means.
I went and ordered doors this week, and I was not confident in what I ordered.
Oh boy!
See, but speaking from the contractor end, okay, I'll give you a deal on the hourly rate. Normally, I would charge, say, $65 an hour.
Okay.
I'll give you a deal. I tell you what, I'll only charge you $50.
Right.
But you don't see that, if I'm going out to pick up the materials, I'm slapping an extra $50 on every item on that list.
Yeah.
So a door, it's $85 for a door, but I'm billing you $150.
That's where they make the money.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, you would upcharge everything. Of course you would.
Yeah, and then if they're in a good relationship with their supplier, they got that door. They didn't get the door.
They didn't even
They
get the
didn't
door
pay
for
retail.
$130.
It's
pay
no
what I
different than
pay.
what my wife does in her profession.
Yeah.
People come in all the time and they want hair product. They want hair product that they don't have access to because they're not a professional. So under her business license, she has access to professional wholesale.
Right.
She buys a product and she marks
She's
it
not dividing that tube of hair set or whatever.
No.
If it's $50 and she gets 10 uses, she's not dividing it by 10 to figure out what she charges each client.
I'm more like I was more referring to like, somebody comes in and they like the particular shampoo that she uses.
Oh, right.
Can you get me that shampoo?
Of course I can.
If that shampoo is $6 for her, it's going to be, it's $10 for the client.
Because you needed to know somebody to get it. You can't go and buy this yourself.
Right.
Same thing. Like if you're like a guy that likes to deworm his, your dogs, but you don't want to,
you don't want to go through the vet, through the vet check first.
But you don't want to go, but you don't want to pay for the
right. Online.
I know I'm just going to do all the dogs.
Yep.
One of them's got worms, so to me that means they
all get
worms.
done. Yeah.
But the vet is like, well,
I can't sell you the dewormer unless I see the dog.
See the dog, and each dog, right?
Exam fee times.
Yeah.
And the last time we had a dog that had to go, exam fee I think was $60.
Right. So, I mean, it's finding ways around it.
If they just deregulate that stuff and let me buy it online, I'd just do it myself.
Right.
Or you realize that, 99% of human medications have the same effect on dogs.
It's all weight.
It's all weight.
Heartworm medication?
Hey, heartworm medication. Yeah, for people.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's wrong with my heart.
Really?
I just need a deworming.
Just a deworming.
Funny. But yeah. So where do you sit now? You got anybody?
I have 2 people that are supposed to be sending me quotes.
Right.
Hopefully one of them gets back to me.
With your drawings in place.
Mm-hmm.
The permit has a life cycle, like it's got an expiration on it.
Yes, and I spoke to the woman at the permit office.
Yeah.
And she said, in light of it being COVID, so we don't know if if you're going to be able to find a contractor while we're on lockdown, or we're come out of lockdown and just as you're about to start, we go back in and you can't do the work.
Yeah.
We'll cut you some slack. It's a small town. It's not like you're building a condominium here. It's an extension on the back of your house. It's basically a glorified shed. So,
except that it's attached to the pre-existing structure.
That doesn't bode well for Kelly and her master suite, right? Oh, I'll take you back to the glorified shed.
Here in Kawartha Lakes, we can build. We can go up to. I think it's.
Didn't you say 140 feet?
140 square feet. Yeah. Without a permit for an outbuilding.
Do you want to know why my shed has a jet in it?
What do you mean a jet?
So my shed.
Really?
Has a jet in it.
Yeah.
Because that got me under the square footage.
Under the square footage.
Yeah.
That's silly.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'd also just rather ask for forgiveness than for permission.
They're not always happy with that. Sometimes you get the wrong guy and they'll like take it down.
Well, I'm actually glad we did like that. The old one, the old barn shed.
Yeah.
Was like 4 inches off the property line in each direction.
Which, right, you were in
a problem.
Unique situation where you had the ability to like start from scratch and make sure.
Yeah.
Because your neighbors were all kind of warring with each other, and you're like, I don't want to in this.
I do not want to be part of the.
If they even look at me, I want to be like,
no,
it's legit.
Right. So when we did it, I said to Kim, I said, we need to make sure that thing is at least 4 feet off the property line in both directions before we put down concrete. And we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And both neighbors like, looks good to me.
Damn right it does.
Because one neighbor, like, they phoned the city on each other. And the one neighbor forced the other neighbor to have to move his 6x8 or whatever, his little steel shed, something like a minuscule amount, like 3 or 4 inches, like just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the city came out and made him do it because it wasn't to spec.
Bylaws are bylaws.
Are they?
Yes.
Only if they're being enforced, I guess.
It's the difference between SOPs and SOGs.
Oh.
Procedures and guidelines.
Yeah. So.
Procedures are in stone and guidelines are like, meh, just don't die.
Written in jello.
I was told the biggest difference is the difference between you shall and you
should. Yeah.
Oh,
no, for sure.
Oh, yes. You've had that course in writing before,
yes,
have you?
I have.
No, exactly. Like, right. So a procedure is a set act, or could be a delegated act, or could be, but you shall. This is how you do it. And then
that's an absolute.
Yeah. And a guideline is,
if you want to be a good human being, you should.
You should. You should do this, you do that. Right. You should bend your knees when you go to pick that rebar up off the ground. But if you bend your back,
lift with your legs, damn
you're still going to pick it up and you're still going to get it done or whatever. But long term, it might not. But we're not going to make you bend your knees. We're not going to enforce it. But yeah, things like that. Oh man, but so here and my end of things, I've spent money. Have a buddy that's
you're committed. Like
I have a buddy that's a Finnish carpenter. Gave me
I've always wanted to go to Finland.
Yeah. Renos. So I talked about you redid your garage.
Yeah, if you've been around long enough to know that my wife has this. It's actually kind of become a joke that what's the annual reno project this year, that something gets done.
I think it's good.
It seems, especially pandemic, for sure things have gotten done over the course of the pandemic despite the increase in price of materials. The other thing that has increased is availability and time for us to do projects. So hence
you have more
things have gotten done in the last 3 years than have gotten done probably in 7 years before that. And so this year she wanted to get a jump start on things, and she's like, garage. And if you know my wife, you know that the time from idea to implementation, you need a time machine.
Is instantaneous.
You need a time machine, right? Because if you say I want to do the thing today, what you really means is I want it done now.
It's funny because you live with her and you see that, and I probably would not quite peg it.
No. Again, it's one of those things.
I love Kim.
It comes through the course.
I could
not as much as I do.
Well, I don't know. I was just gonna say I could live with Kim, and I probably, it'd be wonderful. We would be best friends. We could do each other's hair, and right. We could be. I don't know. What do you call that?
Besties.
Besties.
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like we're
And I say it in jest, right? Like, and I do mean it in like the lightest
of course
way possible, but sometimes it is like that. Like we've gone back and forth on the something as simple as like painting the wall, and it's like, are you gonna sand that wall before you paint it?
Did you see the almost confrontation about those door jambs that I said look good?
Where?
At your house when we were leaving today.
The door jambs.
And then you're like, we'll talk about it when I get back.
Yeah.
She's like,
the trim pieces.
Yeah, I'm going to change them back to white and paint the doors gray.
Yeah, and then
and you were like,
she's like, I'm going to paint the doors black. And then she's like, I haven't told him that yet. I'm like, well.
And then,
your shop, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Your shop, you do whatever you want.
And it's like, because I just noticed the gray trim here today, and maybe it's been up for months, but
it's been there for a while.
Yeah. And then she's like, she's already thinking about changing it back.
We wanted to do something with the garage because my car, I refused to like pay to store it when we own a garage. So my car has been in the garage every year now for the last several years. And it's an old school garage, uninsulated.
Bare beam.
Yeah, not heated. There may have been something on the walls at one time. There wasn't. For the longest time, just some looked like just tar paper over top of the brick. And like, well, what do you want to do? And she's like, well, I want to drywall it. I'm like, well, if you're going to drywall it, then we should insulate it. And if we're going to insulate, I mean, then it had this whole other conversation of, listen, is this a garage or is this a space that we're going to use? Is it like, I said, because if it's going to be entertainment space, then we might as well go all the way and consider insulate it, heat it. Well, I don't want to heat it. Then don't put drywall in there. don't put drywall in there. And at one point I said, like, if you're stuck on drywall, then we should at least get the bathroom board, because we have no control over the humidity in there without it being heated. So then we kind of went the other way, and I had said, I don't know if I was the first one to drop the idea or not. We came around to plywood. I'm like, well, it's off the floor, it's above the foundation, so that should be a little bit less reactive to moisture than drywall. So we settled on drywall for the 3 exterior walls, and the one wall on the house side is already drywall. It just needs to be patched and painted. So yeah, you helped me go get the 1/4 inch plywood. That's it's really flexible. Like
almost it's not to me it's not plywood. Plywood is stiff, but yeah,
you'd think
that in the descriptor
it's plywood,
finished 2 sides,
both side finished plywood, 1/4 inch. Yeah. It's really smooth on both sides. Nice, it's quite nice.
It was easy to work with, obviously.
Yeah, it was easier to work with than the room was. And then this was a funny one too, because like I'm the one who's more trepidatious when it comes to taking on projects, because I don't consider myself to be very handy, where Kim is like, mother of necessity, right? Like if I don't do it, it's not getting done. So she's like self-taught on a number of home reno skills, which puts her like, she's got a very solid skill set. Like she's not shy about tackling stuff. So when it came time to put the first sheeting up, and it's like, are we going to start in the middle of the room, honey? Nope, start in the corner. And I'm like, okay, your lead. Put the sheet up, and then went to put up the second one, and it's like the edges don't line up. There's no stud there. And I said, as soon as you go to screw that on, the studs on that exterior wall, on the long wall, some of them are so warped and just bowed that it's like nothing's going to line up. Anyway, short story, we ended up taking that panel off the wall
and starting in the middle.
And it started in the middle, where at least 2 studs actually lined up and went out from there. Doesn't mean that I didn't put a lot of extra like there's quite a few chunks of 2x4 that are screwed to other 2x4s that I had something to screw to, but it's all up now. It looks really nice. I overestimated on the material by like, it was more than just your 10% overage. It was like, like almost 2 sheets.
It's funny how that goes, right? Like, how do you get that far ahead? I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Hear how terrible I did.
I got the, just a wall mounted bicycle racks, and we put in some rolling tool chest and some overhead cabinetry, like some steel stuff.
I am so jealous of those rolling tool chests, by the way.
They were on sale a few weeks ago. Don't quote me on this. $6.99 for the rolling tool chest. That's just the bare bones Mastercraft. It's not the maximum one. It's just the lowest model. And the bins, the overhead bins, there's a permanent in-store sale on those. So whatever the online price is, the Lindsay store, it's cheaper. It's always cheaper. The guy at the store, he was actually picking some off the shelf because somebody had ordered them for a local pickup. And I said, well, the price on the shelf is not, I said, there's a red tag on the shelf. There's no red tag on the poster. He's like, yeah, that's a permanent in-store thing. He's like, that red tag, that's the price all the time. That's never going to change.
So if the person online, would they have paid more?
They would.
And got them off the shelf.
Yep.
That they're cheaper.
Yep. Isn't that something, eh?
It happens.
Well, this is the thing that got us, because we were like, we saw the online price, and we actually called the store and said, we missed the sale by a day. And the lady at customer service was like, oh, don't worry, it's only one day. Just come in and we'll give it to you for the sale price. We got there, and you hadn't missed anything. You had not missed anything.
There you go.
So we did get the chest, the rolling workstation for the sale price, and we got the bins for less than advertised. Online advertised, I should say. But yeah.
See, for me, I'm just way too cheap. So when we redid the kitchen, I somehow mathematically ended up with a 5-foot chunk of countertop.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, that's a workbench.
Sure it is. Why not? Why wouldn't you though?
That's like, we took out shelving out of the old pantry to make room for the washer and dryer.
Listen, I mean, if you can
2x4s, there's the legs for said but that's workbench.
I mean, I've been looking at all kinds of garage things lately, just because that's what we're doing, right? I'm like, well, I might as well make it a kind of a cool space, because I'd said like, hey, if we're doing this, there's some things that I want, and there was no yep, okay, that's what we're gonna do. And so all these articles that I'm reading, a lot of them are like, hey, if you're redoing your kitchen, those cupboards could go in a garage.
Right.
And I'm like,
Easy
well, shit, we
peasy.
could have done that. Same thing, like, oh, you're remodeling your kitchen. Guess the laundry room's getting the old cupboards, like reuse.
I mean, I took a medicine cabinet down out of the kitchen, out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Why would you have a
yeah.
medicine cabinet in the kitchen?
Sure.
Took it out of the bathroom and put it out, ready to go out in my shop. And I'm like, do I need a mirror in my shop though? I'm like, oh, I'm sure I'll find a use for it. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, UV cure station. I can use the mirror to help bounce the UV light around in my 3D
why
printing.
not? Why not?
I'm like,
yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
I guess that's a thing now.
Yeah.
I've got all of the mirrors, and I'm just going to have one UV lamp in the corner, and it's just going to look like a German disco.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure, like we're still in April, right?
Yeah.
So
a few more days.
I don't think I'm going to get away for the summer without at least one more project that she's going to want to do. Now, that does not include that last year's the shed that went up last year.
Mm-hmm.
That shed kit comes pre-primed, but it does not come pre-painted. So that's going to get done. But I think that's a project that she wants to do.
I have a Wagner power.
I've got a Wagner too, but it's old. Mine's
new. I used it to paint one drawer front in the kitchen, and I went, no, that looks like ass.
You know what I did with mine?
What's that?
I painted a bedroom with it.
Sure,
I did.
I painted a guy's basement with one.
I taped off the window. I put a drop sheet down. It was a carpeted bedroom, and I'm not kidding. Taped off the window and drop sheeting, and I literally painted a bedroom. And I did it with the reservoir, not with the dip tube.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever run it out of stuff where it gets that splat?
Yeah.
And then you've got to go in and kind of wipe it. Like, what do you do with that? I wiped it with a paper towel and then just went and refilled it and over top of it. But I'll tell you this, last year we did the deck complete, stripped it, washed it, stained it, rebuilt the privacy fence, and put a proper railing on the deck extension.
Mm-hmm.
I did all of that by hand. I am not doing it again this year. Oh, and we put up that pergola, and that all got done in cedar stain. Well, with the Wagner, that's how I'm doing it this year, and I'll do it with the dip tube, and it'll make it a little easier.
And if you figure out how to do it, you get a long wand to attach to the end of the Wagner, so you can do it from a chair with a drink.
Yes, yeah, that would be so much fun. That'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get away without another project this year. I just don't know what that will be, where her mind is on that. I mean, last year she was like, we're going to do the shed this year, and next year we're getting a fence. And I'm like right back to, I'm not doing a fence at the house until I can do the fence on every side of our property. And those trees have to be dealt with, because I am not investing in something that, is going to get crushed, when I don't even know. There's still like, there's a question of where the property line really is. Cause if you stand on that side of the house and you look down the tree line, the houses that front onto Dunn Street, you can see the fence lines, whether the people who live there have just pushed back into that lot.
Right.
But like, if they're like on the lot lines, all those trees might actually be mine. In which case, then it's just a case of
chainsaw.
Well, you've seen them. I mean, it's not a job that I'm doing. It's not a job that I'm doing.
I haven't been there in a year.
Yeah. So on that side of the
willows.
house, yeah, I don't even know what they are, but they're just this nasty. They're like garbage tree, really. They are. Yeah, they're awful. Might even be related to the thing that I got out last year. With my stump remover. Yep. Yeah. So, but very happy with the garage. And then the last thing I'm going to do in there, besides some minor things like hanging lights and stuff, is as I said when we were having lunch, I'm going to take a stab at resurfacing the floor, and that should be, and then seal it, obviously, and then that should be good for a few more years before it gets to the point where it's beyond my skill to fix.
I'm just going to put this out there.
Yeah.
Don't probably want to cover up the mic for this or mute it so Kim doesn't hear it. when this goes live, if you take out that closet when you come in,
I know the closet in the hall.
Take that out and turn it. That's your door into your closed off.
You don't even need to take that out of the mix, because that actually came up in the discussion about having an entrance from the garage into the house. And she's like, at one point, that's what she was going to do. She was going to knock out that closet and turn that into that's how we get in the garage. Yes. The issue with that is the garage, the foundation it's cut through the foundation to get into it.
Yeah.
So way beyond my ability.
You don't need to cut through the foundation. You just need to support the door and put a step.
Oh, I guess so.
You're already above the foundation at that point.
So that hall closet, you know what's behind that on the other side?
The toilet.
No, the linen closet in the bathroom that's beside the shower. So then that would be gone too, because you'll need that height to step through.
Can you not step into?
No, because the floor is only a couple inches off the ground, but the foundation of the garage is like up. Yeah, it's like a foot and a half.
So the steps on the wrong side, the steps on the house side, you're stepping up.
You'd have to step up and then back down to get over the hump. So.
Well, that's poop then.
It is. That's what I mean. You'd have to cut through
time and money. Man,
that's it though, isn't it? The only thing that's the two considerations for
time,
any
money,
project.
and ability.
Yeah.
Yep. And money fixes ability.
Why?
You don't have the ability. I got the ability to run a K-12. So do you.
No, scares the shit out of me. I give that job to somebody else.
Like the song.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I've run one before. It's been a long time. When I used to work for the dock company, they did do some cutting into people, going into these houses, like multi-million-dollar houses with their big boat houses, and having to cut into their concrete to lag in a railway. And
that's how it.
And I'm doing this for a minimum wage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Isn't that always funny?
How much insurance you got?
Yeah. So here, there's a question.
Yep.
Life insurance.
I'm covered.
Are you?
I got lots of coverage.
Lots of coverage. You go and get any yourself, or is it through?
I kept. So here's the thing. Everybody in my previous life, I was in the military, as we all know. And in order to be in the military, it is mandatory. You must have life insurance, and there's only one provider when you're in the military, because there's this little thing that most insurance companies have. It's called a war clause, and you're super liability, so they won't insure you.
Right.
So I kept my public service life insurance, which, by the way, minimum, it comes off your pay, and I don't even know how much coverage I had. Whatever the minimum compulsory was is what I had.
Right.
Then Afghanistan came up, and they said, oh, and by the way, the life insurance guys are going to be at the departure assistance group, so you need to go and talk to them and make sure everything's up to date, and if you want to add any coverage. And I walked up to the guy, and he's like, married? Yep. Got kids? Yep. Want to max it? Yep. So I maxed it back in 2005, late 2005, and I've kept it ever since.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it comes off my pension, so I never even see the payments.
You never even see the payments.
Yeah.
So easy peasy for
you.
Yep. What about you?
Life insurance for me is handled by my union.
I was gonna say, I bet you got something through the union. Yeah.
So,
do they partially pay and you partially pay, or?
It's possible.
Okay.
Same thing. You're not worried about it. It's part of your union dues, and it comes off, and you've got coverage.
Yeah. I think honestly, I believe it's all handled by the employer.
Oh, that's good. Even better then.
So I think for us, we have, and if any of my union brothers or sisters are
listening,
and I don't know my benefit,
if I mess this
off
up,
the top of my head, it's because I don't worry about it. Okay. But I believe it's our hourly rate, our benefit rate, vacation pay, health and safety, training allowance, and zone pay is what adds together to make our gross pay.
Yep.
And then there's just 2 or 3 small things that are deductions for our training, bereavement, de novo counseling, and welfare and benefits. So there's nothing comes off there as far as directly health insurance.
So
life insurance.
You went to buy some?
Well, right now, we're paying lumped into our mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
Life insurance.
Yep.
It's expensive. The last time I did it, I was under 45, and I'm now over 45.
Sure.
So I am now, the chances of me needing or getting a payout have apparently
much higher,
increased drastically.
Sure, they have.
But again, I don't know. And ideally, it's not that it's a bad plan, but if you die and your life insurance is provided by your mortgage company,
it's got to be enough to cover the mortgage.
That's all they're covering.
Yeah. If you want anything extra for the family,
yeah. And ideally,
you could go anywhere.
Yes. So I've been looking online. I've been looking at a few different ones, and it's just
sure.
And neither of you are any help because you're doing it
through
honestly, systems that I'm not available to get.
But here's the thing, right? Kim,
you can still start.
Kim does not have any life insurance.
No.
And so we've been talking about buying life insurance for her.
Do it before she's 45.
Yeah. So,
late?
Again,
she's only 39.
That whole time machine thing.
She's only 39.
But nobody buys full.
I don't even know if you can get full anymore.
You just buy term. You buy term,
yeah. And it's like 25-year.
But your age, if your age is the only risk factor, I don't understand what kind of quotes are you getting?
Right, it's all right. So the biggest question, non-smoker.
Yep.
Really am a non-drinker.
Yeah, because a couple of drinks a week is not a drinker.
No. And then, my underlying health condition that I've talked about, which I won't talk about in the same breath as insurance, and Michelle's underlying health condition, really, so far hasn't really added anything to it. So, they're not situations that are doing it. It all comes down to how much money you want paid out.
Yep.
So let's say
how much coverage do you want?
Right. Let's say half a million.
$500,000. Yeah.
So if I died, it would pay off the house and a couple other things. And then if Michelle died, so it doesn't matter who kicks the bucket first. The house would be paid for. The other person would be smiling.
Yeah.
And then me as a man, I would be more than Michelle.
Yep.
Because
we're riskier, apparently.
Yeah, by about $30.
Stupid stuff.
By $30 a month.
Yeah.
And then based on, so every time you crank it up another 25,000, that monthly fee went up.
Sure.
And then based on the term also made it go up, because as the longer the term, the more likely are that you're going to hit the death jackpot.
Are they offering you terms of
10, 15, 20, 25?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's 47. Do I, how many years of the mortgage do I have until it's paid off?
You might, at this age, you might as well take the 20.
Right.
For me at my age, and I'm only a year older than you, it wouldn't be out of the question for me to take out a 30-year term if they even offered it.
Yeah. If you get it.
This is the thing I don't know what's going to happen is that because my life insurance, the public health, is also term. So, I'm over 45 now. So I don't know. I asked Kim the other day, because Kim is the family banker. I'm like, did you notice a change in my benefits? And she's like, no, not really. So I don't know where that changes. Age 50? I don't know.
He said 45 was the magic number for us. But anyway, looking at these prices, so me finding it myself on a monthly rate.
Yep.
Because right now I'm paying it with the mortgage, so it's bi-weekly.
Yeah. It's cheaper that way.
My mortgage is, but it also means I'm paying the same mortgage, my life insurance portion twice a month.
Yeah.
And that makes it quite a bit more expensive.
Why isn't that broken up over, you wouldn't be paying? So that means your monthly rate is just that much.
Yes. So it's through the bank, it's quite a bit more expensive than.
And it's probably compulsory on you. Yeah. Okay. Shop around.
I have started. And right now, it's easy. All I got to do is sign to take it off, and I won't be paying it anymore.
Oh, well,
I'm not locked into it.
Okay.
So it's just as long as I'm mortgaged there, they offer it, and I can send a piece of paper and not get it. So.
I just find that, to me, maybe I just don't understand it. It's been a long time since I haven't had a mortgage. That you would pay the premium twice a month. that premium should be broken up into 2 payments, not
I'm
the full
sure,
payment twice a month.
Ideally, I'm sure it's the premium.
That is what it is.
Yeah, and I'm
then
like,
that's an expensive premium. Then okay.
That's how I looked at it.
All right.
So, but we'll see, and we'll see.
Start with calling the people who provide your car insurance, and ask them.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work out for you, because you've already got products with them. Then
And right, Michelle's got through her benefit provider at work.
Yep.
All kinds of options. But I was curious as like, but yeah, as you say,
sorry, can't help you.
You guys were a little.
Well, you could join the union.
I could, as a laborer at 47.
No, you wouldn't be a laborer. You'd be a sheet metal apprentice.
Oh,
we don't have laborers.
Okay.
Oh, could I be your apprentice?
Absolutely.
There you go. We got a boss. What's the dues? What are dues?
It comes off your paycheck.
You don't even.
Oh, so we actually got to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Count me out.
You can't just sign up.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't just be in the union.
You
and do
actually, you posted not too long ago that they were doing a general roll call for your union.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw that.
Not that one.
No.
That one
Okay.
was for the residential union.
Right.
And so they do apartment complexes, condominiums, and housing, like track housing and stuff like that.
Right. I saw that, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, right. I could probably pass the test.
General mechanical aptitude and math.
Like I said, maybe.
Right.
Maybe I could pass that test.
It's not like they're testing. Okay, here's 100 nails.
Right.
Drive them all in on your first swing.
No.
Like,
but I mean, like, right? It's like they'd ask some math questions. I'm like, do I remember bed mass, brackets, equations, division?
You don't need to know that.
No, there's no math questions.
You clearly
like that.
don't remember because it's not the E is not equations.
What is it?
Exponents.
Yeah.
Aren't exponents the same as equations?
No.
Oh.
Bed mass is the equation.
Oh.
Brackets.
That's the order of operations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brackets. Exponents.
I don't even think they call it bed mass anymore.
No, I've heard different ones. I've heard ped mass.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Ped mass. Oh, parentheses.
Exponents.
Is that what the P is?
Yeah.
Really? It just sounds weird to me. How did you know that?
I'm super smart.
I always knew that, Dan.
Thanks, buddy.
Wes has always been selling you short.
What, you knew? Oh, I thought you were going to say you always knew ped mass.
Fuck no, I'm
Yeah,
the dumb one in this relationship. I am not.
You notice there's no show called Wes Doesn't Know.
Oh, fucking Christ.
There could be. There
Can
could
you-
just. There just
I mean,
could
I
easily
struggle
be.
with words.
Yeah.
And like, that word.
Well, hey,
Fill in
that's
the
true.
blanks.
That's
Smart.
true. When
I
we're
always-
anybody who's listened to the show,
Oh.
and it's like when we're what's the website we use for brew? Oh my lord.
The beer?
Yes. Scott's been trying to read, and then you hit the word and you'd be like, and you try to read it, and it'd be like, there have been times I know I've filled in for you.
100%. I mean, I struggled with the word aluminum. I struggled with
Aluminium.
but aluminum.
That works.
Cinnamon. I used to be not able to
Ooh.
say cinnamon.
You've come a long way.
I have.
The
I've
one that my sister used to struggle with was synthesizer.
synthesizer. But you know what? I
Sure.
still like to
Keyboard, damn it.
I still like to say like
Footage.
it's a thing. So
So that's
I've seen the word footage
Sure.
used in my context on an internet ad.
Wow.
To store your footage, and it was a giant hard drive thing for putting your media on, and they used the word footage. So that's old pictures, and that's how I used it. I want to look at the old footage of that hit.
The old footage.
And that's right. Why would you say save your footage? I've seen it in print.
That's bizarre. It's wrong.
You not no.
It's categorically wrong because
They've hired somebody
Sure.
to create that ad that's gone.
footage PH or footage F. Because if it's footage with an F, it's categorically wrong.
Yes, it'd be like
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah,
no, PH. I don't know.
It would have to be PH.
I'll look for the ad.
You know what? I'm just gonna internet it right now.
I think it'd be one of those Grammarly.
Grammarly. I
Yeah.
have some experience with
thesaurus
Grammarly.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. What word means an accumulation of photos?
Yeah. I say fantastic. with a V.
What? Fantastic.
How are you? I'm fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And they're like, you mean fantastic? I'm like, no, fantastic with a capital fucking V. It just sounds more exciting to me than fantastic.
Oops.
It's fantastic.
I find the two that are particularly, I don't know that they're unique to me, but ranitidine.
Ranitidine, yeah.
I find that word is one of those ones with a speed bump right in the middle.
Can
there,
you tell me what that word means?
It's a medication.
Stomach medication.
Okay, perfect.
And,
I don't feel bad.
And Lily Lake Road.
Lily
Lake Road.
To try and say it quickly just comes off as
where are you going? Lily Lake Road. I like it.
Lily Lake,
I like
Lily
it.
Lake,
Kinda,
Little Lake. Oh,
yeah.
I did it too. Lily Lake Road.
Feels like you're getting intimate with your significant other.
Yes.
It's the same mouth movements.
It is.
Lily Lake. Honey, what do you want to do tonight? I want a Lily Lake.
I'm a cunning linguist.
Oh, James. There's a Bond joke in
yeah.
I don't remember which one they said.
Oh dear.
Somebody's coming.
Oh, James, you're such a cunning linguist.
All right. You're welcome. You too.
The Masked.
I've seen all my children today.
I guess so, yeah. Woo. Oh, was that Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I don't think the jury cans are in the backyard though. Oh, maybe it is.
When they're not there, he'll come back.
I gave one away this week.
A jerry can.
Yeah, I had
an empty one.
I had a diesel one here.
Oh,
because when we switched to propane, I had that week of I didn't get the oil tank filled.
Okay.
So I was going out to Curve and getting diesel and just running
and putting it in.
which is
you can do that short term.
Yeah. And it was super short term because at the end of the week I was going to have a new furnace and it was not going to run off of fuel oil.
Yeah.
And the tank just disappeared somewhere.
I had fuel oil in the first house I ever rented and have never had it ever again.
I like propane. It's been a good choice.
Clean.
I've enjoyed it. Yeah. So it's funny because Derek drives a diesel truck and he's like, oh yeah, sometimes I fill up the truck and I fill up some jewelry cans and really makes it worth going out and getting gas at the reserve.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, you fill up?
I would imagine
and
for
then
him,
you
it's
like
definitely
you
worth
have
it.
a whole, yeah. He says, oh, it just makes it that much more economical because you're not just relying on the tank of gas and then you've got a little. I would never take my vehicle and be like filling it up in the driveway. Just not how my brain works.
Really?
No. Just to save a couple dollars. Save myself a trip out to the reserve.
Years of being in the military, that's second nature to me. Fill up your truck, fill up your jerry cans.
Yeah. But the thing is too, I also drive through Peterborough almost every day.
You're never in a position where like you couldn't get to the gas station.
I would be like, oh, I'm going through Buckhorn today, or I'm coming home through Buckhorn today.
Unlike that night I drove us home from the city.
That's right.
We need to make a 15-minute divergence to Lindsay or we're not getting home.
We're almost out of gas. But yeah.
We get stopped at the ride check.
Threw us off.
He was good though. As soon as I said we're driving home and I'm
late.
Yeah, it's really late. And I'm the type of guy that's like, if I don't need to stop, I'm not stopping.
Here, let's quickly.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually run out of gas?
Once in a company truck.
And I've done it once.
I got really lucky though. My running out of gas, funny. It was with the second car I ever owned, and I was driving from Bob Cajun back to Fenland Falls, and the car literally quit at the top of the hill at Aunt Molly's, and I coasted up to the pumps.
Nice.
I kid you not. Put $10 in when you could still put $10 in and get a reasonable amount of gas, and then carried on my way.
Nice.
Yeah. And because it was injected, all I needed to do was just hold the key. And away she went.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So work vehicle, that means you probably called work and somebody came and filled it up for you.
Oh, it was so bad. It was super, super cold. So you were talking about jerry cans. I was instructed to go to a house.
Yep.
The house was under renovation. And they said the key is here. Let yourself in, start a fire in the fireplace because the heat is off. this is where the gas is for the generator. The generator will provide power to the house.
Okay.
Okay.
None of that was true.
No. The key was there. The fireplace was easy enough to start, but it was minus double digits in the house.
Minus $1 million.
I'm
that
a city
sucks.
boy.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm a city boy, so I don't think to look at the color of a jerry can.
Oh,
I see
no.
a jerry can.
You grab the yellow one?
I grabbed the yellow one and dumped it into the generator and
the gas generator.
And yeah, the gas generator.
No.
And I'm pulling and pulling and pulling. And as we discussed, I don't, I'm a big boy. I just keep pulling.
It's
pulling,
all or nothing.
And I snap the lead, the pull cord off of this thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do now?
The generator's not working.
I call the boss.
Yeah.
He says, my daughter's got another generator. Obviously, throw that one in the back of the truck. Carry it from the house through 1.5 feet of snow out to the vet truck.
Oh, it's a small generator. No wheels.
No, it's
no wheels.
But it's heavy enough because it's now full of diesel fuel.
Oh yeah.
And so
it's full of fuel. It's not supposed to have.
Down the stairs and through the snow drifts and throw it up into the back of the truck. Go to the daughter's house, and the truck had been in the last eighth of the tank when I left the shop that morning.
Yeah.
I drove from Peterborough out to this house. Then I drove back to Norwood. Then I drove back to the house. And then, I guess it was on the way to go and pick up the generator.
Right.
I was thinking, I'm going to be over that way anyway. I'm going to have to pull in and get gas. And God said, not today. And it just, and so I had enough momentum to roll to the curb.
Yeah.
So at that point, my boss is already mad because I've kifed the generator and broken the pull chain, and I still haven't got anything done.
Yeah.
And so he's not answering my call. I end up having to get his wife to come out with a jerry can of enough gas.
Please help.
Yeah.
Of the right type.
Of the right type.
The right kind of
for
fuel.
The truck.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And so it was not a good day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my one and only time running out of fuel.
I listen to my music loud and I don't pay attention
to the gauge.
Yeah. And
so this is a more than one story?
No, it only happened once.
Okay.
And obviously it had dinged and I didn't hear it. Didn't pay attention to the indicator light on the dash. Then I got into the vehicle again. It obviously probably dinged again and the music just was loud and didn't pay attention.
Right.
Didn't know where I was at on the, do I have 32 kilometers or do I not have 32 kilometers? And ran out of gas on the 115 and was so embarrassed. Didn't call anyone. 2 feet in a heartbeat. Walked to 35. I think I was 10 kilometers from the 35 turnoff. Got back on the 35 and walked to it's now a Checker Stop gas station.
I know the one you're talking about.
And they no longer had courtesy gas tanks.
You got to bring your own.
Yeah. So I had to buy one. Thank God. I'm like, you don't have a courtesy when I've run out of gas. Nope.
Yeah. But you can buy one.
Yep. So bought it, filled it up. And now, and I wasn't, no hitchhiking. I just walked. I didn't want to be picked up.
That is a long round trip, man.
Yeah. And walking back. And coming down the thought I'd walk with a chance that I might get picked up. I walked on the side of traffic.
So now you've got 4 lanes of traffic that's divided by a median.
And some kind guy with his family stops and he's like, do you need a ride?
I really do.
I said, where do you want me to put the tank? And it smells like gas.
Yeah.
And he's got babies in the car.
Oh.
And so there I am sitting in the back seat of he's going for vacation. Man, and he drives me. I'm like, there's the truck on the other side. And I scampered across 4 lanes of traffic, hopped the median. And
what time of day was it?
5, 6 o'clock.
That's the wrong time to be doing that.
Yeah. Thank God it was, I think it was fall. So it wasn't cold.
Okay.
I broke out. My fat ass broke out into a sweat walking.
Oh yeah.
And then proceeded to go to I was going heading to my parents when I was doing Mondays. It was a Monday because I was going to my parents. And my dad's like, everything all right? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
It is now.
He's like, why wouldn't you give me a call? And I'm like,
Never.
Later. But so back to your story about gas cans in the military.
Oh, all the time. It's just second nature. Like it never even occurred to me that was foreign to somebody. Although I have to admit, I did struggle for a while with, there was a time before Coleman stove, right? Runs on naphtha.
That shit scares me too.
Runs on naphtha, right? There was a time before like they would just buy like the cans, like the steel cans, and you just leave them in that. There was a time when naphtha had its own jerry can.
Right.
Green. Small green with the orange tag. Okay. You probably remember that from your time in the reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I never had to live through that where it's like a naphtha can. It always came in a steel can right from the manufacturer, right? So fortunately,
yeah. No, we had a guy who went over to our truck.
Yeah.
And when we were doing winter and dock training, just upended the can over top of these logs. There was no starter
to free them.
No. This was he had made like a 4-point
right.
With logs, like honest to God, 6-inch.
There's no fire starter here. I mean, he's
like, yeah, we're not fucking around here.
Yeah,
and just dumped a whole bunch of naphtha all over it, and then couldn't get a match lit for a couple seconds. He'd walked away with the naphtha can.
Sure.
Put it away, and came back, and as it's turning to vapor, it's spreading across the ground like a
that'll make
fog.
a nice woof.
It did.
Yeah.
It must have shot 20 feet in any direction from
instant
where
fire.
He threw the
through it.
It just boof. And
the
ground is all, it was white. Now it's blue.
Yeah.
And then it's all just, everything comes back together. And it's still, I don't think it took on the first shot. I think he still ended up
having to put some more on. Yeah.
Crazy.
It was quite the.
What's a funnier jerry can story is that a water jerry can and a fuel jerry can looks very, very similar.
Are they both blue?
No, water jerry cans are black.
Okay.
However, we're the kindler, gentler, environmentally friendly army, and we contain our gray water. So you've got freshwater jerrys and you've got gray water jerrys. And usually the only difference is that the gray water jerry, the cap has been painted white.
Okay.
Right? Some distinction. Don't fill your canteen from the gray water jerry.
Because it's not a clear sports bottle.
No,
it's solid
it's not.
Steel.
Yeah,
it's dark.
Yeah.
Well, it's plastic.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I tell you, a younger Scott would have made that same mistake. I wouldn't have known that there was a difference between a yellow gas can and a red gas can.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I got a bunch of diesel sitting in a red can at home because that's all they had at the store when I went in.
Did you get a permanent marker and write diesel on the red one?
No, but it's half the size of the gas can, and I know that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Don't ever call me up and be like, hey, I'm
get the gas can.
Get the gas can.
The big one. Get the big one.
I'll be like, that looks big to me. Oh, dear. Well, boys.
What do you think?
I think that's been a great conversation about some things that Dan didn't want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, but we got away from them eventually.
I know. I just wanted to talk about a couple.
Now, are they still going to be our friends when they hear it?
I think so.
Okay, that's good then. That's all that matters.
The ones that I wanted to be friends with in the first place, I don't think I said anything derogatory about.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I'm sure the girls will still love us to bits.
Mine loves me. I love her.
Yeah.
I'll just have to get mine drunk. Again.
There you go.
She can do that on her own. I've watched her do it.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple of times. She doesn't need your help one bit.
Kelly, we're going downtown. You want to come for a walk? Okay.
No. Well, there's another great episode of Hanging Out at the Barbershop.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I like.
Well,
just a little hanging out, telling some stories.
We'll do it again sometime soon.
All right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
All right. Yeah. That's it for me, man.
You're Wes. I'm Scott.
That's it. We are who we are.
Thanks again, Dan.
No problem.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for hanging with us at the barbershop. You can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms.
Please like and share us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date on all of our shenanigans. Hanging at the Barbershop is a Sawcast production.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. What happened there? You are hardwired, right?
No,
You're not hardwired.
I'm still not. I was saying to Dan that
you're lucky it's a record only.
yeah.
Where's your router? Up in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. So I have to or run it over, which is probably the easier way to do. Sorry.
I hate to do this, but you're gonna have to pause this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You want me to like hard pause? Hard pause.
You might want to.
Okay. Break. You see? The other day.
Yeah, well put.
Oh, that dinner.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I am so full. That was good. That was good burger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. What do you want? Snippets?
Yeah.
Stopping something and starting something.
Hey, it's absolutely not you. I swear.
Oh,
I just
apparently I snored on the mic. It's just my breathing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, can't do it. Two things you do with cardboard: you either make it or you recycle it. It's funny.
They'll do it for free.
Yes.
They'll do it for a beer.
Yeah. He makes it, man. Does that make my life easier?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah. It becomes easy. I don't fucking care. Yeah.
More for you. Shut up.
Oh, bud.
It throws off my game. Okay, shut up.
Oh, I need all the help.
Oh,
just
yeah?
shit the bed. It was terrible. All good.
It's what they do for a living.
That is their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.